A wise man once said, hokey religions and ancient weapons are no match for a good blaster at your side. Today I'm going to show you how to make a display box for some of your favorite Star Wars props or toys. The first thing I want to do is get an idea of how much room I need to lay these out. We'll make this about 14 inches tall by about 12 inches wide. When you're building a box or a frame, you have to consider how you're laying it out. I want the inside dimensions to be 12 inches by 14 inches. The short sides are 12 inches long, but because I'm doing butt joints here at the edge, I need this long side to actually be 15 inches. That's the inside dimension of 14 plus a ½ inch for the top piece and a ½ inch for the bottom piece. Leaves me with a finished inside dimension of 12 inches by 14 inches. I've set up my table saw so that this is a 1/4 inch away from the fence and a 1/4 inch up from the table to make a couple passes, create a slot in the sides to receive the back panel. You do it this way, you get a nice, clean edge with no tape. Now to begin to lay these out. Do a rough outline with a pen, then we'll start hacking away at it. After some playing around with it, I'm pretty happy with this fit. It's a tension fit. It's not perfect, but all of this is going to get covered up anyway. One thing I learned from putting in the lightsaber is that I'm probably going to have to cut all the way through this in order to get a good fit. The foam's right at 1 inch thick, and these are pretty thick toys, so I think I'm going to have to cut all the way through it and get that snug fit. This part here makes this part way too thick. I'm gonna trim this down. And this is a cheap, like $3 flea market lightsaber. It was broken. Don't freak out, it's not a collectible. Much better looking. A little spray adhesive and some black fabric. I'm just using the back edge, the not sharp edge of a razor blade to tuck the last little scraps of fabric down out of the way so you won't see them. I cut a French cleat and a spacer so I can hang this on the wall. If I was doing this again, there are some things that I would do differently. First of all, I would pay much closer attention when I'm stretching the fabric over the foam. It has a couple wrinkles and spots that I'm not crazy about. Second of all, I had to put screws in the back on the French cleat because the CA glue and the kicker that I used didn't want to bond well to the flat paint. But the big thing, I would make this whole thing deeper. I'd use thicker foam because these toys are pretty thick. What that left me with was a really difficult decision I had to make. I actually put a couple screws in from the back to keep these from falling out because while they tension fit, while I was putting it together, once I got the foam in the frame, I couldn't get the toys to go deep enough into the foam so they wanted to fall right off the wall. I had to put those screws in the back. This is a vintage blaster. I bought it broken on eBay for like 20 bucks. It doesn't have a back battery cover on it. It's not the end of the world, but forgive me, I destroyed a vintage toy. All in all, I'm really happy with how this turned out. I like the birch plywood and the black matte paint that I used on it. It kind of looks like an old school museum display. Take the time to leave a thumbs up, leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. And may the force be with you.